There's a power within you. It lifts your life to its highest level. It brings happiness, companionship, peace of mind, and good health. As you tap into this power, it will respond to you because this power is within you. And that's why spirituality rocks. Welcome, I'm your host Janine Burns with a fantastic show for you this week. And on Spirituality Rocks, we teach New Thought spiritual principles. New Thought teachers, there's one presence and power, one ultimate loving energy, whatever you choose to call it, God, infinite intelligence, spirit, that expresses in you, through you, and as you, and in and through all of life everywhere. We teach that our thoughts create our experiences, that thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. Not our casual thoughts, but our everyday thoughts that form a pattern in the subconscious mind. And today we have some guests that will speak to us on this. We have from Pacific Grove, California, we have Dr. Stella Pizzella is joining us on phone. And from Atlanta, Georgia, we have with us via Skype Dr. Barbara King. I'd like to start with Dr. Stella Pizzella. Dr. Pizzella, she is the administrator from the New Thought Center, and she is also a staff minister at the Positive Living Center. And Dr. Stella Pizzella, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here, Dr. Janine.
And you are with the Emerson New Thought Center, and people can go online and look up emersoninstitute.edu for more information.
Exactly. And also the emersonnewthoughtcenter.com also.
Okay, great. So my question for you today is, what spiritual truth or spiritual idea have you been focusing upon lately?
Well, the spiritual truth that I've been focusing on is mindfulness. And I just love that some folks are even referring to this year, 2014, as the year of mindful living. And we're seeing and hearing the word mindfulness a lot. Even take the latest issue in February of Time magazine, and they had on the cover, Mindful Revolution, the science of finding focus in a stressed out, multitasking culture. And it's just amazing. Like in 2012, there were over 477 scientific journal articles about mindfulness. So wow. Mindfulness has really gone mainstream. So what does that mean to me? Well,
what is mindfulness for the viewer who may not know what that means?
Well, mindfulness is the basic human ability to be able to be present and to be aware of where we are and what we're doing, and to not be overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. And, our mind veers off course so easily. Our mind loses touch with our body, and soon we're worrying about something that we're not even able to control. And I think we've all been at meetings where there's a speaker and we're listening to that person and our mind starts drifting and wandering, and then all of a sudden we snap ourselves back. And so my focus is to try and grow my mindfulness. And some of the ways I'm thinking about and using and practicing some daily meditation in its various forms. As you know, we live just outside Yosemite National Park in Oakhurst, and it's a very forested, beautiful area. And I use my quiet time on my deck to relax and deep breathe and tune into the sounds around me, mostly that of nature. And it's those short pauses in our daily life that helps us to grow mindfulness. And some of my other tools right now, I use GPS for the Soul app on my cell phone.
There's a GPS
for the reminder to deep breathe and refocus and be present.
Okay, wait a second.
And I'm trying to build into my life some reminders so that mindfulness becomes a little more automatic.
I thought I heard you say GPS for the Soul. There's an app on your phone?
Yes, there is. You can Google that, and there's an app, GPS for the Soul. And the different aspects of that particular app is that it can actually monitor your breathing rate to see if you're in a normal range. It also allows you to enter different pictures. You kind of create your own storybook to help calm you, to help refocus you. It could be any kind of scenic pictures, pictures of family. It's kind of like your own photo display, so to speak. And then you get reminders whenever you specify. Generally around noon and 4 o'clock is when I get my reminders. And it reminds me I can actually look at the pictures if I need to, or it's like, hey, take a break, relax, deep breathe, refocus, be in the present.
Wonderful, wonderful. Tell me, what else do you do for your particular spiritual practice to help you to remember your connection to God within you?
Well, I like to remember, I think, that everyone is always doing the best that they can. And by even being mindful, by listening intently to others, and to practice being in the presence, is an excellent way to remember. And it also promotes kindness of other people. And not to go into judgment, and not to judge ourselves and to judge other people. And so those are just some of those principles that I'm trying to use, trying to practice in everyday life.
Yeah, that's a tough one. A lot of people experience judgment of themselves and others. So how do we, how do we deal with that? What do we do about that? I'm guessing that the first thing is we need to be aware that we are in judgment.
That's right. Awareness is certainly the first clue. But again, I think just knowing that we're, the judgment of good and bad, of who we are, not being so tough on ourselves. Again, the belief that we're all doing the best that we can, that we're all of the same energy. And I try to surround myself with love and to project that energy out to other people. And it's just amazing how other people respond to that. And what a difference even that smile, or even just a hand wave when I'm driving through our neighborhood up here in Oakers, to wave at folks, smile at folks. And you can see that coming back to you multiplied.
Wonderful, wonderful. I want to switch gears here a little bit. We're both on a committee. We're planning a conference called Sacred Awakenings, Pray and Play in Divine Nature. Let's talk about the conference for a moment. I know our Skype guest will be on right after our commercial break. Dr. Barbara King is going to be one of our speakers. What are you looking forward to at the conference?
Well, related to mindfulness, of course, I was looking forward to attending that and practicing mindfulness with my colleagues, and attending the meditation, the yoga, the labyrinth walk, hearing inspirational speakers, hearing the fantastic music and drumming. And really, I'm so looking forward to the presenters. The lineup this year is fantastic.
The lineup is just fantastic. We're having Mark Anthony Lord, David Alt, Edwin Gaines, Dr. Barbara King. We're having WA. It's just, I'm very excited about it. And excited to be in an opportunity where you're really submerged in the conscious awareness of God expressing in you, through you, and as you. And as you said, in mindful awareness, workshops, and a whole myriad of activities.
Right. It's such a great opportunity to be with our fellow ministers and practitioners and interested persons, and to be inspired and reconnect, and to have a chance to kind of recharge and re-energize and play at the same time.
Pray and play in divine nature. That's fantastic. Well, if anybody wants to know more about the conference, they can go to newthought.org. That's newthought.org. And if you're interested in learning more about Emerson Theological Institute, the web address is emersoninstitute.edu. emersoninstitute.edu. And what is the other address the web address you gave us, Dr. Stella?
You can also go to emersonnewthoughtcenter.com.
Okay, fantastic.
But also the emerson.edu will get you there as well.
Fantastic. Well, we thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Spirituality Rocks, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Sounds great. Thank you, Janine.
My pleasure. Don't go far away, because right after this commercial break, We will be live via Skype with Dr. Barbara King, author of Transform Your Life. So stay tuned for more of Spirituality Rocks.
Peacefully, joyfully, I am divinely guided. Peacefully, joyfully, I follow my inner guidance. Peacefully, joyfully, I am.
YesWeCare.net is a 501c3 charity that provides help to veterans and their families. Please visit YesWeCare.net and donate in any way you can by purchasing our beautiful frame prints or relaxation CDs and DVDs, even smooth jazz CDs. YesWeCare.net. Remember, our troops are on their way home. They need all the support they can get. YesWeCare.net.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidisciplinary practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have two practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our two offices. Thank you.
Peacefully, joyfully, I am divinely guided. Peacefully, joyfully, I follow my inner guidance. Peacefully, joyfully, I am divine.
Welcome back to Spirituality Rocks. I'm your host, Janine Burns. Delighted to be here with you this week. And I have with me a practitioner with the Centers for Spiritual Living. I'd like to introduce to you Barbara Grimminger. Welcome back.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here. I so want to support what you're doing. I think it's very important to share these ideas with the world. And I want to thank you because every time I come on here, I get introduced to a new book. I immerse myself in the book, and it advances my study, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So I thank you so much.
Fantastic. And this is a particularly fantastic book.
It really is.
This is one really heck of a book. It's what I like to say is juicy. This book is called Transform Your Life. It takes you from fear to faith, from loneliness to love, and from self-doubt to self-discovery. This book is written by the Venerable Reverend Dr. Barbara King. I'd like to tell you a little bit about Dr. Barbara King. She is the founding minister of the Hillside Chapel and Truth Center in Atlanta, Georgia. And she began, it's an interdenominational ecumenical ministry in 1971, only with 12 people in her living room. And now it's a complex where Dr. King, we'll call her Dr. Barbara, covers nearly 12 acres, and it's a growing congregation numbering more than 10,000 people. Dr. Barbara has a Bachelor of Arts degree in sociology. She is a professionally trained social worker, and she's been awarded 3 honorary Doctor of Divinity degrees. She is a bishop in New Thought, and she is also a chief. We're going to ask her all about these things, but her bio reads like a who's who in New Thought. Welcome to the show, Dr. Barbara King.
Well, thank you so much. I'm excited about being with you because this is my first appearance on Skype.
All righty, all right.
I hope I'm looking good.
You're looking real good. I got to say, that smile is a dazzling smile. You're looking good, good, good. So,
well, it's good to see you again, too.
Thank you, thank you. Well, we mentioned earlier is that we are so excited that you're going to be out with us at the conference at the Affiliated New Thought Network, and we're going to be down in Atlanta, Georgia. And
yes, to that.
Yeah, and you're going to be our keynote speaker, and it's called Sacred Awakenings, Pray and Play in Divine Nature, and we're so thrilled to have you for that conference.
Oh, well, you're wonderful to invite me, and I'm really excited about it.
Excellent. So prior to the show, Barbara and I, we found your book to be so rich, we didn't know what to address first, but I know Barbara had a particular question.
Right. Well, my question for you, Dr. Barbara, was you talk a lot in the book about undisciplined and uncultivated thought. Could you speak to that somewhat?
Yes. Well, really it has to do with self-control. If you don't control where you are in your thinking, your thoughts do become undisciplined. Your thoughts can run wild.
Yes.
So therefore, we have an obligation, if we're going to follow the teaching that we know, to make sure that we work with our thoughts so they don't bring into us our lives that we don't really want. So being undisciplined, just what it says, if you're not disciplined in your way of thinking, you're going to ramble around, you're going to go out in the field someplace.
Exactly.
And you will not have any control. So we want to be able to think through what we're thinking, give it our feeling when it's good, and know it's going to produce for us what we want to have.
Awesome. In the book, you have this section here, which I really love, on letting go. And I'd like to read it and then have you comment, because I don't think a lot of people understand about what letting go is.
Right, I agree with you.
I think I'm on page 155, and when a lot of times when I think we talk about letting go, I think people think that they're just going to bounce around like a cork on the water, and they've got to put up with things, and they've got to deal with it. Letting go does not mean to stop caring. It means I can't do it for someone else. Could you read, please?
Sure. To let go is to not cut myself off. It's the realization I can't control another. To let go is not to enable, but to allow learning from natural consequences. To let go is to we feel that to let go is to admit powerlessness, which means the outcome is not in my hands. To let go is not to try to change or blame another, it's to make the most of myself. To let go is not to care for, but to care about. To let go is not to fix, but to be supportive. It's not to judge, but to allow another to become a human being.
Okay. And this is just fantastic. This is so how do we practice letting go?
It depends upon your daily routine.
Okay.
I think that your routine should begin with a quiet moment before you even get out of bed. And to, at that moment, decide that you're going to have a prayer of thanksgiving. I begin the day being thankful I'm even awake, that I can open my eyes and breathe and feel. After that, then you want to look at what is my intention for the day. I find myself getting up at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning, and I absolutely get a pad and a pencil, a pen, and write down what my schedule is for the day to make sure that I'm following all I want to follow. Now, even before that, let me back up, because we have a little devotional guide called Daily Thoughts from the Hill. Yours has Daily Word. Ours is similar to that. I read that to begin my focusing on what I am to be for that day. If the affirmation says, I am in stride with God, then I'm going to remember that, because don't tell me what may happen during the day that may have me have to go back to that affirmation. So after getting my attention straight and getting myself together, and you know what? I like to look in the mirror and decide I'm looking good. You need to focus in on your appearance, what you see, look at your own eyes, and feel good about yourself before you even walk out the door. Now, if you're a driver, or if you ride with someone, all during that drive, you can talk about, God, thank you for protection, because so much is happening out on the road. So I'm very much aware that whoever I'm with by myself, I speak words of protection. Thank you, God, for taking me to work. Thank you for blessing my home. I would look back at my house and visualize a light all around my house before I even leave. So everything that you can think that's positive, that brings you to a spiritual awareness that the presence of God is always there, then you have no problems. You can't have them. But if you do run into something, and today I had a situation today which almost threw me back to the dark ages, if you will. And it was with a TV company. They just couldn't find my name, and I've been paying my bills. And when I knew the thing, I was more than 6'5". I had to be 8 feet tall in my thinking, because I was getting angry, I was getting upset, and I had to stop, calm myself down, and say, wait a minute. This has no power with me. See, the affirmations and the prayers and the scriptures that you use always come into play when you put them in your subconscious. If you practice this, you've got a bank of information that you can pull up, or that comes up at any time that you need it. So that's kind of, this letting go was because I went to a treatment center. My son had an addiction, and I know I was a codependent. And I went there for that healing treatment that I got there. And when I found this poem of these words, which were anonymous, I put them in the book and used them, because when you let go, it means you just give up. You surrender. You can't do it anymore. You've got to surrender yourself to the God within you. And I declare to you, every time you surrender, that thought will come to you what you're supposed to do. Every time. But you got to surrender. So letting go is surrendering. It's getting yourself out of the way. It's stop trying to make it work.
Try trying to make it work. Try trying to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
I think what you just said, when you say you're letting go, you're giving up, it's like in that moment you're acknowledging that there is a higher power, a bigger power that can handle it. Nothing is bigger than that power, and in that moment you just turn it right over and you let it do what it knows how to do.
That's what surrendering is all about. Surrendering is letting go. When you decide that you are not in charge, or what you're doing is not working, then it's time to make a change. And you can change your thinking anytime you get ready.
Yes, that's true.
That's it. You just have to make a decision. You just have to make a decision. On page 127, there's a section called Use Your Inner Resources. Use your inner resources. And it says the first thing you have to be aware of is that there is a presence and power that works through you when you allow it so. Wow. Wow.
What page are you on?
I'm on page 127.
Okay. I misunderstood you.
Yeah, page 127. Use your inner resources. And so it says we can open ourselves through retraining our minds and come to understand about prosperity. This chapter is all about, it's all about Barbara being rich, born to be rich. Right. And what it says here, the number one step you wrote, you have to know that you don't depend on other persons or conditions for your prosperity. So many times we depend on our spouse, or we depend upon our work, or we depend upon the government. Tell us more about this idea about not depending on others.
In the outer world, the physical world, the government, Social Security, your 401k, these are absolutely areas of your life that you have in your life. At the same time, if the 401k shuts down, if the government shuts down, where do you go from there? And if you have built in your consciousness that your supply comes from your faith and belief that good, your prosperity is always present, then when these things occur, you still know, as we always say in truth, when one door closes, another door opens. Now, I have an affirmation that I read every day, and it says, God is the source of my supply. I am never without money.
Great.
If you said that enough, after a while you're going to believe it. Your faith picks it up, and no matter what you see, no matter what happens, you know that you're going to be provided for. But you see, what we forget is it takes work. It's a discipline way. It's a work. You got to work this thing every day. You can't go to the truth center on a Sunday, get a nice message, and then come home and don't work on Monday. This is an everyday job. It's just like going to school. You want to expand on your awareness of your spirituality, you have to work at it. Just like going to class. I went and got a doctorate at age 82. I have a doctorate degree, but I had to study for that doctorate. I couldn't play around with that doctorate. So this tells us that when you depend on people, then that's when you get lost, because people can't always serve you. Depend on the God within. Depend on that spirit within, which tells you, guides you what to do. I came to Atlanta in 1970. I did not have a job. They said I was overqualified. And one day I went to the school. I finished AU School of Social Work. I went to the school and I asked about a job. The dean said, we don't have any positions open. I left. I came home. The next morning I got up and did my routine, and Spirit said, that inner voice said, go back to the school. I almost said, for what? But I didn't. I went back to the school. When I got to the front door, I met a former classmate who said, what are you doing in Atlanta? I said, I live here now. She said, where are you working? I said, I can't find a job. She said, we've got some jobs. She said, call me back at 4 o'clock.
Wow.
4 o'clock, I had a job on that campus in that department as an instructor. Wow. And I worked for 6 months and ended up getting a job as a director of a mental health program for Emory University, because I followed that intuition. That's God. All the hunches, all the things that come to you, God speaks to you, and that's the source of your supply, is knowing that that presence in you, it'll guide you in speaking, it'll guide you in a hunch, it'll guide you in a thought, it'll guide you in an overwhelming knowing that it's going to work out.
Woo!
Yeah, that's what I say too.
That was a good story.
That's fantastic.
I have to tie my own experience, because without experience, I'd have nothing to talk about.
I hear ya, or nothing good anyway, right? I love this part. Number 2, you have to let go of worn out ideas, worn out conditions, and worn out relationships. You know, I was speaking to one of the practitioners that I trained, and what she said to me earlier today was, you know something, negative people, you treat them like cigarette smoke, and you step away or you go downwind. And I love here that you say you let go, because sometimes we get caught up with ideas and conditions. Tell us more.
Well, sometimes you have to let go. You know, Jesus said, love your enemies, and I say, release your friends.
Okay.
You know, sometimes the people around you will speak such negative words. If you're not careful, if you don't, like I said earlier, if you don't guard your thoughts, then you become in an undisciplined way. So when they speak something to you, because it's your best friend, you'll start believing it. Now, you're the one that got the idea. You're the one the Spirit spoke to. You're the one that got the leading. But they will let you know it won't work. Don't even try. They keep saying there's not enough men available, so you won't find a husband. It's just baloney. It's not the truth. But when you hear so much on the television, social media has inundated us. We just have so much that we hear from social media. But if you take all that in, so sometimes you have to cut the TV off. You have to cut the radio off. You have to go within and say, wait a minute, let me see what I believe in my own soul. And sometimes you need help with that. You should have a support system. I have a support system. Even as a minister, I have people that when I feel like, let me talk to somebody, I call them and say, you know, let's have prayer. Let's just talk it out. Because everybody reaches a point where you're overwhelmed with the negative. and you have to push through to get back to the positive.
Beautiful, beautiful.
That's very true.
Well, on that note, it's time for a commercial break. So stay tuned for more of Spirituality Rocks with Dr. Barbara King.
Peacefully, joyfully, I am divinely guided. Peacefully, joyfully, I follow my inner guidance. Peacefully, joyfully, I am divine.
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn?
Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act 1 will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure.
You'll be happy you did.
For professional motorcycle transport and towing, think Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing. Proudly serving all of Long Island, we feature expert handling and 24/7 service. So send a limo for your toy with Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing.
Brooklyn's best locksmith and hardware.
We have 3 of the largest showrooms of safes on display and in stock. You can see and touch them in person instead of browsing a catalog. We carry gun and rifle safes, burglary safes, jewelry safes, fire rated from a half hour to 2 hour. Famous name brands.
We sell Gardol.
We sell AMSAC.
The new AMSAC touchscreen.
If you're ever in need of a safe, think Brooklyn's best locksmith and hardware. Right, Lockie?
That's right, Alan.
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching doing it to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
Welcome back to Spirituality Rocks. You got it over there, Barbara?
Yes. Spirituality Rocks.
This is Barbara Grimminger. She is a licensed practitioner. That is someone who is certified in praying for you and coaching and counseling you with the Centers for Spiritual Living. And I am absolutely thrilled. This TV show, this episode is stellar. And that is because we have on Skype the author of Transform Your Life, Dr. Barbara King. If you'd like to check out more of Dr. Barbara King's work, you can see on the internet, you can check out hillsidechapel.org. hillsidechapel.org. Dr. Barbara King, we welcome you back to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be back.
I would love if you would please give us an affirmative prayer for prosperity so that all in the viewing audience can really have that experience of the verb that you have when you pray.
All right, are you ready?
I am ready.
Repeat after me. I am in stride.
I am in stride
with the upper progressive.
With the upper progressive
movement of life.
Movement of life.
And the mark of success.
And the mark of success
is upon me.
Is upon me.
Right now.
Right now.
I am in stride.
I am in stride
with the upper progressive movement of life.
With the upper progressive movement of life.
And the mark of success.
And the mark of success
is upon me.
Is upon me.
Right now.
Right now.
I am in stride.
I am in stride
with the upper progressive movement of life.
With the upper progressive movement of life.
And the mark of success.
And the
mark of success
is upon me.
Is upon me.
Right now.
Right now.
And so it is.
And so it is. Oh, I love that.
Well, our church uses it all the time, so we're sharing it with you.
Fantastic.
It's a good prosperity because everybody wants success. You can't have prosperity without success.
There you go. That's absolutely true. Barbara and I love this chapter on living single. Living single.
Yeah.
And for those of us who are following on the book, it's page 104, 105. And you talk about loneliness. And you talked about coping with loneliness on page 105. Could you tell us more about that? You say life is consciousness. What is consciousness?
Consciousness is awareness. We know that.
Yes.
We really are not, we think we're lonely. First of all, let's go back to our truth principles. If there's a presence and a power that is everywhere, even the present, both within and without, that presence keeps you from being lonely. What makes you lonely is when you choose to move into your emotional state of what's been taught to you, what you think is the truth, that if you're by yourself, you are alone. You can be by yourself and not be alone. Some people are very happy by themselves. They have a great time. I'm one of those people.
All right.
But at the same time, there's one time I felt I was lonely because that's what I had been taught. If nobody was around, nobody talked to you, you didn't have a man in your life, you weren't married, you had nowhere to go, you were lonely. Loneliness means that you are with yourself, in yourself, by yourself, but you can do something about yourself. That's the difference. And so when we are living single, we have to find things to do. I find things to do that will bring the happiness that I want to express, not waiting for somebody to bring it to me. Lonely people always want somebody to make them happy. You can't make anybody happy. But if lonely people would find the time, first of all, acknowledge that they're not alone. Now, if they don't know truth teachers, they don't know spiritual principles, they won't know that. But you have to start someplace. Face yourself and acknowledge that it's okay for me to be by myself. Number two, learn to affirm. The affirmations that we use are so important. To affirm, I am never alone. And then number three, behind that, you want to find an activity, find something resourceful to do, make friends, go places, meet people. When I go to a play, I buy 2 or 3 tickets so I can take somebody with me. I never go by myself. And those kind of activities are returned to you by the people that you take. So when you find yourself to be resourceful, when you find yourself to have the courage to speak to somebody, do you realize that people come to a church service and will sit down next to a person, never say hello? You maybe meet your next husband or your next wife, your next friend, your next business partner. You never know. I tell people, anywhere you go, say hello. When I get on the elevator, I speak to people. It's amazing to me how many people need to have somebody say hello.
Yes.
It happens all the time. So loneliness is only when you think you can't have anything, you can't have anybody with you, that you just lost. When you realize I am alone, but I'm alone in the spirit, in the presence that's in me, and in that presence, it will guide me what to do and where to go and how to do it. And that's what living single is all about. And I listed in the book things that you can do that you can make yourself enjoy living. We have to learn to enjoy living.
Right. In your chapter, you say that you want to be careful that you haven't removed yourself from the life stream around you. And it sounds like that's what you're talking about, that you have decided you're going to be in that life stream with or without other people. And it occurred to me when you were talking that when we're alone, sometimes we feel that we're not enough. And we always want to remember that we are created perfect, whole, and complete, that we are complete by ourselves because we have that divine companion. And it's very important to remember that. And the other thing that I wanted to say that I read in your chapter was, remember you always have something to give. And when you feel alone, you can find a way to share your talents, your abilities, and your presence with others. And it lifts you out of that feeling of loneliness.
Well, you pretty much said it in another way, but let me say this to you. The people looking at this program may not have ever known anything about true principles. And you have to also say things at a level that people who don't know true principles will still want to stay with you and start with you. So when I said being honest with yourself, when I said finding somebody, for a person that don't know any principles, it's easy to find a friend sometimes. So what you're saying is absolutely true. But at the same time, remember, the people you're talking to are not all true people. So you want to tell them, as you've done, as I've done, how to be resourceful, how not to give up, and how to find a way to make a friend. I tell you, if you get on the elevator and speak to people, you'd be surprised. People, I have gotten on the elevator and said good morning and shocked people, but somebody will say, thank you so much for that. You see, the social media stopped us from talking. We text all the time. I have a friend, I went there, I said, I'm not texting anymore. Let's get on the phone and have a conversation.
Right.
Social media has taken us to the point that we don't make friends anymore. Because we're texting, we're emailing, you don't even know who you're talking to on Twitter. See, I don't get on Twitter. I don't know parts of Twitter. But on my Facebook, people get on the Facebook and they say things that I wonder where they got it from. But these are people seeking their legion. They're reaching out to somebody. So it has its good parts as the bad parts. When I preached once and I asked everybody to stand, I preached about, I don't know what I call it now, but anyway, I said everybody stand and put up your cell phone. I said, now, how many of you can't let it go? And I have people, you ever see people in church that they get a call, they get up and run out? It happens. So when I had them to do that, I said, I'm going to give you two numbers. I put the prayer line number and then I put the children's prayer line in there. And they were shocked because everything but what will help you with your spiritual growth. And that's what you got to go with people. How can I grow spiritually so I can accept all this you're telling me? That makes sense?
That makes sense. All right. Yeah.
Start where they are.
Start where they are, right. So it's almost time for a commercial break. I can't believe it. We're just whizzing through this hour. I'd like to talk about relations really quickly. If we just jump to page 93, those of you who are following us along on the book, everyone wants to be loved and nobody wants to love.
That is profound. Right. That is profound.
That is really something. Why do you find that to be so profound?
Because it's true. We want to be the receiver. I think we very often judge the way people love us, and we forget. Someone told me once that people love you the best way that they know how. And that was really eye-opening for me. And I think that we're very we kind of defend ourselves. We're like, well, I'm not going to love them until I feel like they love me. We're so cautious. And so I love that line. I think it's very profound and very true. But it's not truth because we have all the love we need. And you say in the book, love God first, then love yourself, and then you're able to love others. And I think that's very true. That's very good. It's a very good progression.
You're absolutely right, because I was a person that didn't love myself for a long time just because of my height. I was active, I could speak well, I was on everybody's program, and when I got home, I just thought, but she just wasn't so tall. Now, as I began to realize what the love of God in me meant, then I began to accept myself. Then I said, well, if this is God's love that's in me, and God chose me to be this tall, chose me to do what I'm doing, then it's okay. I finally made it all right. But let me tell you something. Everything we're talking about is a step-by-step process. It does not happen overnight. I don't care if you've been in truth 90 years, you still can learn.
I agree.
That's right. 50-some years, and I'm still learning.
We still learn.
So
that's that spiral progression
step,
of upward,
whatever
right?
we say here today, it's a step-by-step process. Nobody's reached that plateau. Everybody's working toward getting a wider understanding of who they are. Everybody's working toward how can I increase my finances. Everybody's working toward how can I not be alone. And everybody's working toward everything with the relationships. Oh, that's a good one, because everybody wants somebody to take care of them. But they don't realize they've got to take care of themselves first. You can't go after what you're not. I tell you, they want a man. Write down everything you want in the man and see if you got all that going on with yourself.
Ooh,
that's good. That's so good.
That's great.
Right.
That's great.
It's very
you know,
true.
I'm just looking up and I see again it's time for a commercial break. For those of you who don't know, when Dr. Barbara King was speaking of accepting her height, Dr. Barbara King is 6'5" tall. So
right.
That's a tall woman. You're a tall drink of water, as they say.
That's a tall drink of water.
And a good-looking one, too.
I decided that.
Excellent, excellent. Well, stay tuned. Don't go far, because we're going to be back with more of Dr. Barbara King and Spirituality Rocks.
Uh-huh.
You getting that?
Peacefully, joyfully, I am divinely guided. Peacefully, joyfully, I follow my inner guidance. Peacefully, joyfully, I am.
This is Beth.
Hi.
Oh, congratulations. When are you due?
I'm not pregnant.
Oh, look at that. Excuse me.
You're totally thin.
You look very sexy.
For life's bleachable moments, all it takes is 3/4 of a cup.
Dad, where do babies come from?
Well, there's Dad's big, shiny rocket ship. That's right, it's filled with babies of all kinds. And when the shiny rocket ship penetrates, Mommy and Dad goes, and when the time is just right, there's a space launch.
All systems go.
Babies of all kinds, released all over the place. Yeah, Africa. Mommy's Babylandia. That's right, it's filled with babies. After an amazing 9 months, babies. And that, son, is where babies come from.
But Jake said babies come from
Planet Babylandia.
You go, play with us on the bus.
The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round.
Wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town.
Welcome back to Spirituality Rocks. I'm your host, Janine Burns. Joining me as my co-host today is Barbara Grimminger.
Glad to be here.
Indeed. And we are thrilled about this book, Transform Your Life, because you know what? If you read this book and you practice the principles in it, you will go from fear to faith, from loneliness to love, and from self-doubt to self-discovery. Welcome back to the show, Dr. Barbara King, who's joining us via Skype from Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really enjoying my conversation with both of you.
Oh, good.
And I'm just honored that you asked me to be on the show.
Excellent, excellent. Barbara brought up a part on your chapter in The Power of Prayer. Those of us who are following along on the book, we're on page 61. Barbara, what's your question?
Well, I would like you to expand upon your ideas of what are the conditions when you do make a request or put your demand into the universe. You have three things. You say, is it good for all? Am I willing to give up what needs to be given up? And am I willing to accept responsibility? Could you talk a little more about those ideas?
Well, sometimes we are praying for things, and if we think about it, it could be something that could not be for our highest good, and certainly not for people around us. That's just simply what it means. That's why I believe that when you go into meditation, when you get still, you'll always know how to direct your prayer. Many people will pray asking. Asking does not mean just, I need this, I need that, I need that, give me this, give me that. But it does mean that you are asking, knowing that as you ask, you will receive, because everything that you need has already been provided for you. So if we believe that what we desire is provided, then we know we will not ask anything that's going to do us harm. But some people, let me give an example. One of my members was praying for a house. She wanted a 12-room house. But she didn't pray for a maid. She didn't pray for a housekeeper. So when she got the house, and she's not a person that likes to clean up, she doesn't like to do anything but live, she admitted in church that her prayer was unfounded because she did not complete the prayer. So the word harm could take on, it sounds like a very negative word, but harm could take on anything. You have to complete your prayer. And then the second one, you have to sometimes release something to get you good in. Some people ask for things, they get it, but they have a pile of stuff already there they need to let go of.
Yes.
So when you are praying for a new car, you've got 3 old cars in the driveway, you need to get rid of them. Because what you do, you're holding on to the old along with the new. So when your good comes in, you got good along with all of the past experiences. It's a state of consciousness. So if your good comes in, you thank God for it, but at the same time, you've got a lot of your past there, and you've got a conflict. And of course, willing to accept the responsibility. When you get what you ask for, you got to be responsible enough to take care of it, to know how to handle it. The people that win the lotteries and win all this money within a year don't have a penny.
Right.
So
That's so true.
They have to accept their responsibility.
Right. I think
So
good.
Whatever good you're getting, be responsible enough to know you got to take care of it. You got to really know that it's there for you good, and not exploit it, and not put it in a position where somebody else is exploiting you because you have good.
Right.
Very good.
Right.
That's good.
That's great. You know what I wanted to ask Dr. Barbara King about? I happen to know that you are the first female chief of a tribe in Ghana.
Well, that was an exciting experience. A chief of a region outside of Accra, Ghana, came to visit our church. And when we finished with the service, I asked him to have some remarks. He gave his remarks, took his seat, and then we got ready to stand up for the benediction. He came back and said, "May I speak again?" He said, "Dr. King, you're coming to Ghana this summer. I'm going to install you." Now, watch the word now, install you as a chief. And everybody started jumping up and shouting. I didn't even know what he was talking about. I didn't know what it even was. Had no idea what the meaning of it was. So when I went to Ghana the next time, I took 72 people from the church. It was it's a ceremony. It's one of the most beautiful things you've ever seen. And with the installment ceremony, I became the first female chief in that section of Ghana. Now, that means I sit with the male chief. Now, you must remember, this man was criticized, this chief was criticized for doing this because the men don't want to sit with the female, because the females in the village are queen mothers. They're the ones that give the wisdom to the chief. But I was not a queen mother. I was a chief sitting with male chiefs. And believe me, that was an issue, but he defended. It was almost like being an American, somebody defending why you gave somebody a job who was African American, you didn't give it to someone else. He had to defend his position with me. It was a wonderful experience, and I got through it. So here in Atlanta, there are people from Ghana. There are chiefs in Atlanta. So when they have a chiefs meeting, I go to the meeting. They receive me, but they would much rather not have a skirt in that meeting.
That is fantastic.
It's quite an honor. And when I tell people, when I meet people from Ghana, they smile. And I have a sheep's ring, and when I show them my ring, they say, well, I know it's true, but, you know, it's never happened before. So, you know, everything, even in Africa, things have begun to change. So I am the first. And I'm very proud of it, very thankful for it. And I go every year. I'm building a library there. And we take school supplies to the children in my village. It's a wonderful experience. The people are just so wonderful. If you go into Africa, go to Ghana first.
Right. Wow, you are a trailblazer. I mean, you really are a trailblazer.
On that upper progressive
stream
of life.
The upper progressive stream of life that you pray for is obviously manifested in your life. It's so, it's so exciting. Do you have any closing words? We're just winding down the TV show now. We have a couple of minutes. We have about 4 minutes.
Well, one of the things that I truly believe is that we each have a gift. Everybody has something to bring to the universe. And what happens is, when you don't follow your passion, when you don't bring forth your gift, I am missing something in my experience that would be a part of me if you would come through. Everybody, we could just get people to realize how important it is to bring forth your gift and bring it to the universe through your church, through your organization, through your job, and stop looking about competition, but just realize that this gift you have is for mankind, it's for humanity. And that's the way I feel. My gift is my passion. I love to speak to people. I love to be with people. I love to counsel people. And I love to tell my stories because I find out that most people don't tell the story. So you don't know where they've been, don't know how they overcame. But when you tell a story about how you've overcome something, somebody's going to listen. Somebody's going to realize, maybe I can make it through. I married at 80, and you know I married to teach all the old folk in my church, different place else, that you could get married late in life, and you could have a wedding. I had a wedding. I had a huge church wedding. Now it didn't survive the marriage, but it's okay. I did it. I enjoyed it, and we enjoyed our time together. So whatever you do, find that which is yours to give, and give it unconditionally. Just give it freely. And watch the good flow back to you. All these things you read in my resume have come because I've been a giver. So give them your best. Let somebody know what you can do. You're doing it right now, Burns. You got this TV program. This is the best thing you could do for a whole lot of people. People are listening and are being blessed by your presence, your person with you. So give it. Let it go. Let somebody get it. You know what? The more you give, the more you will receive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And as my friend Reverend Sheila McKeithen says, do what God put in front of you to do. You know, you remind, isn't that wonderful? You know, I just happened to show up at a party last year and met the owners of the TV studio, and here I am today and doing what God put in front of me.
It's wonderful. God bless you in your work. I send you my blessing. I send you all the joy, all the love, for you, what you're doing, and for all the people who are being touched. That's by what you're doing here today. God bless you always.
God bless you too. Thank you so much for joining us on Spirituality Locked. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Barbara King is the author of Transform Your Life. You can connect with her by going to www.hillsidechapel.org. Dr. Barbara King, thank you for being on Spirituality Rocks, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
I'll be right there. Thanks for promoting my book. I need it.
We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you, and we love your book. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Nice
Thank you
meeting
so
you.
much. And ladies and gentlemen, what I want you to know is that next week we have with us David Alt. David Alt is an inspirational teacher, and he's a musician. He's absolutely fabulous. The following week we have Dr. Bonnie Barnard. The following week is Dr. Harry Morgan Moses. So we have got shows for you. Thank you for tuning in. Please like us on Facebook and tell your friends all about Spirituality Rocks. You ready? We'll see you next week on Spirituality Rocks.
You know the night time is the right time to be with the one you love. Oh, come on, baby. Oh, now, sugar, I wanna be with the one I